Okay, so today we're doing a deep dive into the AYANEO Pocket DS.
Right. This is that dual-screen Android handheld.
Exactly. It launched via crowdfunding, big claims, calling itself the world's first flip Android handheld with dual screens.
And the pitch is basically resurrecting that classic Nintendo DS feel, but with much beefier modern hardware inside.
So the mission today is to really figure out what's going on with this thing. It cost, what, $400 plus?
At least, yeah. We need to unpack if it's actually this amazing nostalgia machine or if it's, well, maybe just a pricey gamble.
Especially when you look at the specs versus some of the user reports coming out.
Definitely some surprising stuff there.
Okay, let's start with the good, the tech side, because honestly, the internals are impressive.
They really are. Performance-wise, it's packing some serious power.
It's got the Snapdragon G3X Gen 2 processor.
Yep, and a big battery, too, 8,000 mAh. Plus the build, CNC machined metal, that adjustable hinge. It feels premium.
And performance for emulation.
Pretty smooth, apparently. Game Boy, yeah, easy. But it handles stuff up to PlayStation 2, even GameCube pretty well. Modern Android games, too, cloud streaming. It covers a lot.
Okay, that all sounds great. So where's the catch? Because there usually is one.
Well, this is where it gets really interesting. The core concept, the dual screens. They use two fundamentally different types.
Different types. How so?
The top one is lovely. A 7-inch OLED, 165 hertz, bright, modern screen.
Okay, but the bottom screen, it's a smaller 5-inch LCD, and it's in a 4.3 aspect ratio. Wait, hang on. An OLED on top and an LCD on the bottom, stacked together.
Exactly.
But why? If they're doing CNC metal and using that high-end chip, why mix screen tech like that? Isn't the dual screen interaction the whole point? Well, the 4.3 ratio on that bottom LCD, it's actually perfect for DS emulation geometry. It matches the original screen shape.
Okay, I see the logic there for accuracy.
But visually, it clashes. Big time. People noticed immediately, especially in dark scenes. The contrast, the color temperature, they're just visibly different. So you're paying premium money for a core feature that looks off.
Pretty much. It's a noticeable mismatch you just have to live with.
That feels like a massive design compromise. But the issues don't stop there, do they?
Yeah.
What about using it day to day?
Yeah. Early user reports, back around October, they highlighted some real frustrations.
Like what?
Like the initial setup apparently taking a staggering 3 hours. 3 hours just to get going.
Wow.
And their AYA space launcher, the software front end, it doesn't auto-download box art like, pretty much every other retro handheld launcher does.
Little things, but they add up. Any hardware issues reported?
There were mentions of a faulty right bumper on some units, and then there's the cooling.
With that powerful chip, it needs good cooling.
It needs aggressive cooling. People reported the fans hitting, and I quote, helicopter noise levels.
Helicopter noise. Seriously.
Seriously. One person even said the exhaust vents were strong enough to flap napkins around on a nearby table.
Okay, that's not ideal. The flapping napkins means it's loud and pushes a lot of air.
It's a huge functional drawback you just have to accept for that performance.
So let's talk cost versus value then. It starts around $400 early bird.
Yeah, $399 up to maybe $639 depending on the tier, and then the retail price jumps way up to $759.
Whoa, that's putting it right up against like potential Nintendo Switch 2 money.
Exactly, for a device primarily designed to emulate old Nintendo games.
And this pricing immediately became a problem, didn't it, because of the competition?
Oh yeah. Massive shock. The very next day after AYANEO announced pricing, their rival, AYN, announced the Thor.
Right, the AYN Thor. What was the deal there?
It undercut the Pocket DS by $150, starting at just $249.
Okay, big price difference.
And crucially, it offered dual OLED screens, solved that mismatch problem instantly. Plus, it was lighter and had an even bigger battery.
Ouch. So cheaper, better screens, lighter. That's tough competition.
Very tough. And it wasn't the only alternative. Retroid sells a simple dual-screen add-on for like $69. Much cheaper way to get that form factor.
So this brings us to the bigger picture, the risk involved, right? Especially with AYANEO as a company.
Yeah, you have to consider their track record. There's a known reputation, documented in forums, for releasing a lot of devices, maybe too many, with pretty inconsistent long-term support.
I've seen threads mentioning customer service issues.
Definitely. People talk about nearly non-existent customer service. One user described months of dealing with crashes on a device with barely any help.
So you're potentially dropping $400, maybe $600 on a device that has immediate, cheaper, arguably better competition.
From a company known for spotty support, it's a gamble.
Okay, so let's try and summarize this for everyone listening. The AYANEO Pocket DS is technically quite an achievement in some ways. Powerful chip, premium build.
Absolutely, the raw power is there, but it's wrapped up in some really questionable decisions. The mismatched screens are a big one.
And the premium price, the setup hassle, the noisy fans.
And the business context, the competition, and the company's support reputation.
So what's the final thought here? When you weigh it all up, well, you have to ask yourself, how much is pure nostalgia worth? Especially when the execution involves fan noise that can literally move things on your table, and you know customer service might be a struggle. And when a competitor launches something the very next day that fixes the main screen issue and costs significantly less.
Exactly. It kind of makes you wonder if this device was already outdated before it even really shipped widely. That's the calculation you need to make before spending that kind of money.